Well, good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day to you. Maybe you're not even doing this devotional. In fact, we just close it up here. Maybe when you hear the question, we will. Here's the question 27. Are all people, just as they were lost through Adam, saved through Christ? So let me take out that little part in the middle. Are all people saved through Christ? Right? Are all people, just as they were lost through Adam, saved through Christ? And here's the answer. No. Only those who are elected by God and united to Christ by faith. Nevertheless, God in His mercy demonstrates common grace even to those who are not elect by restraining the effects of sin and enabling works of culture for human well-being. Wow. So happy Monday to you. We'll think through that. What I want to do is just allow you to ponder that, and I'll just sit here as you do that. There's a lot to work through there. One day I'll preach through books like Romans that address some of these things and other books in the Bible that address some of these things. But for now, let me just simplify this into two main points that would hopefully move us to worship this morning. Really the question is asking, are people saved because of Jesus? And again, I'll say two things simply, and they both have to do with grace. The grace of God. First, to answer the question, are all people saved because of Jesus? I think I'd settle here that God would save anyone is His grace. Right? That God would choose to save anyone is an unbelievable thing to think through. That He would call anyone to Himself is an unbelievable act of love. Right, we've seen this in John already, haven't we, where God is drawing those whom would believe, and He's drawing those in whom He's called, right? That challenges our understanding, though, doesn't it? Challenges our comprehension. We can't understand how and why He would do that, and we can't comprehend all the ins and outs of how that works out. But can we just settle in on this, that it's God's grace alone that anyone would come to Jesus by faith. It's His grace alone. So our response then is not to look down our noses at those who aren't saved. Right? It's not, well, I am and you're not. Instead, it's looking up to Jesus who gave His life, who gave His life that those whom God has chosen to believe would be saved. It's true that in Adam, death and sin trickles into each of us, and we choose in our own sinful nature to sin as well. In fact, Paul says in Romans chapter 5, verse 17, "For if, because of one man's trespass, because of one man's sin, death reigned through that one man," it's talking about Adam, "much more will those who receive the abundance of grace and the free gift of righteousness reign in life through the one man, Jesus Christ." So death trickles into each of us because of Adam and because of our own sinful choices, but because of God's grace in and through the work of Christ, we have life. That He would call anyone to believe is an unbelievable act of love and grace and mercy. So that's first. It's about grace. And then secondly, to get to the answer, so as to believe that God is not cruel, because He's not cruel. God in His mercy demonstrates common grace to all, not allowing sin to conquer and destroy everyone and everything, and even in His grace to allow human flourishing, even those who are not His elect. This question is truly one about the grace of God, isn't it? It's a question and answer that forces us to contemplate the truth of the gospel, that what we deserve is death and separation from God, but what we receive by grace through faith is eternal life, that He would call anyone His son or daughter is a gift of grace. So here's the question again. Are all people, just as they were lost through Adam, saved through Christ? And the answer is no. Only those who are elected by God and united to Christ by faith. Nevertheless, God in His mercy demonstrates common grace even to those who are not elect by restraining the effects of sin and enabling works of culture for human well-being. So today, spend some time rejoicing that we have a God who is slow to anger. We have a God who's abounding in steadfast love. We have a God who's full of grace and mercy, and at the same time, We may never comprehend this, but that doesn't change the fact that he's still slow to anger and that he's still abounding in steadfast love and that he's still full of grace and mercy. It's Monday. And so begin your week with some time thanking God that he would call you his own.